Chiefs or die. Final score in D.C. Your Kansas City Chiefs 31. The Washington football team 13. In a game where the Kansas City Chiefs came out with an amazing first possession after getting a 3-and-out on defense. Jody Fortson, my gosh, made a sensational 39-yard catch showing his 6'6" athletic frame, reaching over the defensive back, making the catch, going down at the 2. Next play. Handoff to Darrell Williams. Pounds it in. Touchdown. Your Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs up 7-0. Washington drives down the field. The defense buckles up, holding the Washington football team to 3 points. Now, it's 7-3. Chiefs get the ball. Start driving. Patrick doing what Patrick do. Big catches from Kelsey. The Chiefs get down inside the 15-yard line. Then Tyreek Hill does what Tyreek Hill has done the last 2 weeks. Inside the 5-yard line, the ball hits him in the hands. Intercepted by former Chief Kendall Fuller. So then Washington starts driving. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Kansas City Chiefs freaks worldwide of all ages, what we've seen from the Kansas City Chiefs in the second quarter was the worst second quarter in my lifetime of being a Chiefs fan. It was probably the worst second quarter in Kansas City Chiefs football history. And I've seen a lot of Chiefs football. I go back to 1977 when I started watching. But that second quarter left me numb and speechless, but I'm going to try to do my best to speak of what I've seen. Tyreek Hill's drop pass for an interception. Baby Cheetah on an end around, runs 6 yards, fumbles the football. Then with the Chiefs trailing 13-10 just before half ended, Patrick Mahomes looks like a child, and it hurts to say that. It hurt me right here when it happened. It hurt me, I think, more than anybody. When Patrick Mahomes gets that snap, drops it, tries to throw it, and 2 Washington football team members were there waiting for it, it made me question the psyche of not only Patrick Mahomes, it made me question not only the psyche of the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff, it made me question the psyche of Chiefs Kingdom. How can Patrick Mahomes do that? How can he do that, folks? But while we sat there in our shocked splendor, or shocked slumber, at halftime, the Chiefs somehow got it together. The Chiefs came out and drove to the 50 and didn't really look that good. They still looked like they were in a funk, and they punted. Then the Washington football team went out and drove down the field and missed a 42-yard field goal. From then on out, the rest of the game was the Kansas City Chiefs. But we also want to say the game ball of this game goes to the defense because they made the plays when they had to. And some people say, come on, Shaggy. The offense finished it out good. And props. The offense, ladies and gentlemen, finished the game 8 for 8 on their last 8 third down chances. The Chiefs had third down. The last 8 times, the Chiefs made 8 straight. But in the grand scheme of things, folks, here's what we have to honestly digest, because I'm a fan. Are you kidding me? I freaking love today's win. Today's win is what you build on, and what this win is a win the Chiefs needed. But I've had a couple people send me private messages on my postgame show last week when they said, what do you mean, Shaggy, when you said this culture is messed up? You ended last week's postgame saying this culture is messed up. We're coming off 2 straight Super Bowls appearances where we won one. We're coming off 3 straight AFC Championship games at home. That is not a bad culture. And you know what? It's not. You want to have the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now, and we do. You want to have the greatest team in the last 3 years coming into the season, and we do. But the culture of accountability. The culture of accountability was what I was talking about, because too many bad times, bad things were happening. Daniel Sorensen was getting beat, and the Chiefs addressed that going into today's game. Ben Neiman was getting beat, and he's been benched. Willie Gay's been back. The only reason Ben Neiman came back on the field was because Willie Gay was beaten. The culture of where I was discussing was the culture of where you feel like you're on top of the world, you're invincible. You should not have to be held accountable. You should not be questioned by the local media, the national media, or from any Chiefs fan, so to speak. But I'm always going to keep it real. I'm always going to keep it real. And those who've been following me for 6 years know that I'm going to keep it real. The culture of accountability, we didn't see that today until Juan Thornhill started over Daniel Sorensen. The culture of accountability to where Tyreek Hill is just dropping passes that are intercepted. Now, you don't want Tyreek Hill to be benched. He didn't play in the second and third quarter. They say it was because of a quad, and maybe that was the case, but maybe was Andy Reid holding Tyreek Hill accountable for 2 interceptions? And accountability to where you say to your quarterback, Patrick, dude, come on, man. I've been hyping you while you were at Tech, man. I wanted the Chiefs to draft you. I got on my freaking soapbox and demanded that the Chiefs draft you. Those who've been following me on my Shaggyshane postgame or my YouTube page know that. I've championed this guy 2 weeks before he was drafted. In my mock draft, I wanted us to get him. So accountability, Patrick, that counts for you, pal. Please no more stupid-ass shit and throws like that, buddy. You're the freaking face of this team. You're the face of Chiefs Kingdom. You're the face of the NFL. Please, no more bad snaps where you drop the snap and throw it. We love you, buddy. You're the best, man. But you can't be doing that, because if we're going to hold Daniel Sorensen accountable for sucking, if we're going to hold Tyreek Hill accountable for dropping your passes that are intercepted, we got to hold you accountable, Patrick. Come on, man. I know you're smiling right now after that big win. I know you're feeling good because you freaking played great in the second half and you were 8 for 8 on your last 8 third down situations. But for my blood pressure, no more backyard play. Just underhand it to Kelsey, but don't just throw it up like that if you drop a snap, please. Please. Thank you. All right, keep smiling, buddy. Now, they addressed it. They addressed it, ladies and gentlemen. The Chiefs addressed it with Daniel Sorensen getting benched, with Ben Neiman getting benched. But we got to hope, now that Sorensen's benched, that Thornhill doesn't get hurt. We saw Anthony Hitchens go off the field with holding his arm. That means more Ben Neiman. So we got to hope that the Chiefs can address these injuries moving forward. And Cheetah, you got to catch those passes, buddy. You got to catch them because it's bad on the stat line for everybody. And we got to hope moving forward against better competition when we decide to have a play terrible. If the Chiefs have another second quarter like this next week against Tennessee, that won't be very good. But let's look at these kick-ass stats, baby. Let's look at these kick-ass stats for your Kansas City Chiefs. Your Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick was 32 of 47 for 397 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. We already addressed Darrell Williams, man. The dude ran hungry. The dude ran like you had a lot of want to. I know it only says 21 carries for 62 yards, but you felt that he freaking had the desire to hang on the ball, have great vision on those 2 touchdown runs, and freaking hold on to it. Patrick Mahomes had 3 great quarterback carries for 31 yards. That's a 10-yard average. McKinnon had 3 for 10. Hardman had 1 for 6, and then he fumbled it. Travis Kelce was the leading receiver. He had 8 catches for 99 yards. He hurt his hand. There's some concern going forward there. Tyreek Hill had 9 receptions for 76 yards and only played in 2 quarters, 1 touchdown. Baby Cheetah McCole Hardman had 4 receptions, a beautiful 38-yard catch, but then he fumbled on the same drive. Pringle had 3 for 55. Demarcus Robinson stepped up from the where they now file and had a huge touchdown in the 4th quarter to freaking kill the Washington football team's will. Darrell Williams had 3 receptions for 27 yards, and Jody Fortson, oh my God, prayers to him, man. He got hurt. Had that 1 catch for 27. He was a freaking Cinderella story. The Chiefs, Tashad Wharton had a big interception. We almost had a sack. Tyrann Mathieu almost had a sack. And after he nailed Heineke, I'll have a Heineken after that play. The Honey Badger hit freaking the quarterback. He spun off. Frank Clark got him in his grasp, threw him down on himself, and then he ended up throwing it for an incomplete pass. Come on, guys. We got to clean that up. But props to the defense. Props for shutting out the Washington football team the second half of the freaking game. You got to love it, folks, because they delivered when they had to. Now, next week in Nashville, it's the rematch of the AFC Championship game from 2019. Your Kansas City Chiefs are coming off a big win. The Chiefs cannot afford to have a second quarter, let alone any quarter, of bad football like that against the Tennessee Titans. They got to step it up. We don't know the significance of Anthony Hitchens' injury at this time, but we're going to need his big body and middle linebacker taking on Henry, the running back. It's going to be a tough game. It's an important win the Chiefs have to get next week, because with the Chiefs standing 3-3, the Titans are going to know any tiebreakers are important for the wild card. The Chiefs are playing for a wild card right now. Could things Chiefs change moving forward? Sure. But the Chiefs cannot lose any more AFC games moving forward. Next week's game's at Tennessee before we have a Monday night football game after that, which is 4 miles from my house, which is a short drive to the countryside. Where you going? You can't run and hide. So many questions. Questions like, man, will we ever see a quarter that bad in Chiefs history ever again under Andy Reid? My answer to that is, dang, I hope not. It was sickening. As Eric Winston would say, sickening. Props to Chiefs or Die. Fidel and crew were at the game today. They went out there and represented like they know how to do. Until next Sunday in Nashville, Tennessee. Come on, Chiefs, baby. You know what you got to do. You got to take care of this and win. Until postgame next week, this is Shaggyshane saying, go Chiefs.